Hey, how's it going? Every time I make one of these videos, I always ending up wanting to do something a little bit more upbeat after. But I always kind of end up just making another downer, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially when at this point it's kind of just what I do. And it's people's one day out of the week to kind of sit down and maybe listen to me ramble about something stupid. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I do see people commenting like, is this guy ever happy? So I do just want to have one video that is normal, just talking about something stupid, nothing, no major life issues, just something that I'm passionate about and I want to talk about. So I think the main focus of this channel has been TF2. And if not the main focus, it's always had a presence in some way, right? All of my thumbnails are TF2. My gameplay, for the most part, is TF2, and it's also the favorite of, what you guys like to see. And it's also one of my favorite games of all time, and will always be one of my favorite games of all time. I have literally a spy crab on my desk. The other day, I actually just got this really cool, it's like an omnibus, almost, of just like comics from Valve. I think it has Half-Life, Left 4 Dead, and TF2 in it. It's really cool, and the game still means so much to me, but there's issues going on with the game that everybody is aware of, and I'm not breaking any new ground talking about it. I used to, when I was 15, play the game for 5-6 hours a day. Every week I'd be playing this game, clocking in, 20 plus hours, and it meant a lot to me. I met a lot of my close friends through TF2. Even people, I knew at school I would connect with through TF2. My best friend, I remember we had a class together in 7th grade, and on his school laptop, he for some reason had the TF2 font installed, and I was like, what is that? And we connected through that. And online, of course, I've met so many great people, and it does genuinely, to this day, mean a lot to me. And I wish I could just play the game. I wish we're in the modern era. I did grow up using the server browser and stuff like that, even before quick play was a thing. But, in the modern era, I can't lie, I become a little spoiled. I would like to click queue, get into a game, play for a little bit, and then hop off. And TF2 is a game that you can't really do that with nowadays, because it's not my main focus. I'm not sitting there curating browsers. And I guess it's not really that big of a deal, but it is annoying when all of the casual servers I'll try to join, midday, for example, have bots in it. And don't even get me started if it's late at night or at a weird hour when there's not a lot of people playing and I'm just constantly joining a harvest server or a, whatever server that just has 40 bots in it. It's frustrating, and, just use the server browser is something that I get told and is very reasonable and is what I do. All my gameplay is mostly recorded on, Uncletopia and Skyle and stuff like that. But so many of those servers are full. And people don't like to join empty servers, so I can join an empty server and then sit there forever, or I can just sit and wait for a slot to open in Uncletopia or something like that. But, at that point, if I'm just playing on an average day, I don't really have friends that play the game anymore. I'm just sitting here spending my few free time that I have waiting to play this game, and when I do get in the game, let's say, it can be a steamroll and not even be fun, or I'll have people spamming slurs in chat, which has literally happened when recording gameplay, and I don't realize until after I upload the video. So if you go on one of my videos, the chat box, like, 1/6 of the screen or whatever is blurred for half of the video because people are spamming the N-word in chat. And for some reason, in the official matchmaking servers, there is no moderation with that stuff. There's no censoring, at least to my knowledge. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but people don't get banned for it. There's nothing about that.
Yo, quick side note. So I was wrong here. Apparently there's an option in Steam which censors it, which I guess I disabled at some point. But I guess people still aren't just being banned for it or penalized in any way for it, which was more so my point. So, it still stands, but yeah, just wanted to make sure I corrected that.
And obviously, I've already mentioned it a little bit, but the bots. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know how to solve the solution, but there are ways to do it because other games do it. Other games figure out how to fix these issues because every game, if not, would have cheaters and spammers and all that kind of stuff roaming free. And a lot of games do, but not to the extent that TF2 does. I've mentioned, there are plenty of more smarter people that have solutions, but as a layman, I'm just going to say, Valve, please fix the issue, especially when you said you were going to, and it's been over a year and you haven't done that. It's so disappointing being a Valve fan because genuinely, I do really respect the people at Valve for the most part, right? I don't really respect a lot of companies nowadays, but Valve is a company where I generally do follow a lot of the artists and developers on Twitter and stuff like that because I care what these people are creating. And it just so happens that they made one of my favorite games and they don't really care about it anymore, which is a little harsh, but I don't think that they do. It's not the moneymaker. People at the top of Valve aren't necessarily super worried about TF2 going under. And if they were, they would have done something about it. And it's just a little disappointing. And I think a lot of this is void in a way, because there will always be people playing TF2. I think TF2 forever has been a community-driven game. I was watching Uncle Dane's video most recently, and he was talking about a little bit about that, you know. TF2 forever has been community-driven, especially nowadays when everything that's added into the game is community-made, whether it's maps or cosmetics. And even before that, you know, before there was casual, quick play, whatever, we were all joining these stupid trade servers and these like Mario Kart maps, and you know, you'd be lucky to find a vanilla basic game. They'll never fix these issues, let's say. I don't want to believe that, but let's say they'll never fix the issues. Fine, I can still go back and, you know, just rummage through community servers and find playable games, but it's depressing. I don't want to have to do that, especially with a game that has such a lively and passionate player base. I wish that the devs shared that. Which is whatever, you know, I get it, it's a business, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I have all the answers, but it's depressing, and it means a lot to me, genuinely. This game is something I grew up on, been playing it for almost 9 years, I think, at this point. And another fear, which maybe is a little unfounded, and maybe it's just due to my own hardware and personal experiences, but I'm a little afraid how TF2 is going to age running on Source Engine and being such a bloated game. I mean, everyone knows TF2 doesn't run well, but, you know, you see this with other Source games. Gmod consistently doesn't run well. CSGO forever was running pretty shit, even at like super low settings. And I've had friends that have had a lot of these issues as well. So maybe it isn't just me, but TF2 is also a game where, I mean, it's like a joke. The minimum requirements on the Steam page are so outdated at this point. You wouldn't even be able to run TF2 on a PC with those specs. You know, it makes getting gameplay really unenjoyable and almost impossible. There's like only a select few maps I can record on at stable 60 FPS, and I'll literally have to sometimes put up with it and upload gameplay with choppy frame rate. You know, nothing unplayable or, you know, that's going to make you nauseous, but it's like, come on. This is a, you know, 15 however year old game at this point. I would hope that it would run better on modern hardware. Maybe I'm naive in thinking that and I have no idea what I'm talking about, but it's a little upsetting. You know, TF2 back in the day ran better on my GTX 730 and my dual-core i5 than it does now on my much better hardware. You know, my computer still isn't good, but it's much better than a GTX 730 and a dual-core i7, and it makes me a little upset that I'm somehow still not able to play the game at some points. I'm kind of at the point where I don't really care about a major update. I'll be honest with you. I don't really care, and I kind of am expecting that we will never see, you know, the fabled heavy update or whatever. At this point, I'm past it. You know, I'm not, you know, this isn't my main game anymore. I'm not sitting there watching every single Valve data leak and, you know, refreshing the Steam database all day, hoping that we're going to get some update. I don't care. I just kind of want this game to be preserved and to be playable for the next 15 years. And for people like me who love this game and want to just hop on every once in a while and play the game. And for new people, because even though it's hard for me to believe, there are still new people finding out about TF2 and playing it. It's still one of the most popular games on Steam. And even if the player numbers are inflated due to bots, a lot of those are real people who generally take interest and have passion for this game. And it sucks that we're being bogged down by all these issues that at this point should be fixed. I love to give people the benefit of the doubt, but you know, when a company says directly, you know, hey, we hear you guys, we're going to help remedy this issue, we're going to try and fix it, and then it's radio silence and nothing is done, yeah. I don't know. It makes me a little upset. As much as I love the game and I respect the people that work on it, something's got to be done. It's actually funny. One of my other favorite games of all time is Titanfall, another game that goes by TF2. And that game's having a lot of the same issues. You know, not with bots, but you know, the servers are down all the time. They're, you know, if you queue during a certain part at night, for example, you'll be lucky to find a server that's not in Europe. You know, with like 90 plus ping. And it's unfortunate that two of my favorite games of all time that both share the same name are unplayable at times. I don't know anything about game development, and a lot of this was just kind of rambling. And maybe it's not that big of a deal. I'm still going to play TF2 no matter how hard it is. I'm going to keep trying to queue, no matter how many bots I get. But I wish these basic quality of life updates come eventually. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this wasn't as much of a downer as my other ones. And yeah, see you guys.